Hey there folks, it's Iconic coming at you with another Diablo Immortal video. Today what I'm looking at is what gems should go into your new main hand and offhand slot that we got when we went into Inferno 1. Taking a look at my slots, I had to go with what I had available at the time. It happened to be a 5 out of 5 Hellfire Fragment. So this one has to go in and I have to keep it. The other one that I had, and this has been in my bag since day one, I mentioned it in a previous video, but nostalgia is here for this one because it's one of the first 5-star gems that I ever got was an Echoing Shade. But I have a lot better choices I think that I could put here. So as I'm looking over these options for myself, I wanted to share with you guys what I think could be potential options for you too as well.
We have the finest goods the world over.
So as always, this kind of boils down to whether you play just strictly PvE content and you only do PvP when you have to, or if you really are diving into PvP a lot of the times. So what I want to look at first is some good PvE gems, and this is going to be for free to play to low spenders, and this could even apply up to mid tier. So something that you may have taken out of your build at this point is a Berserker's Eye. This will give you at rank 10 16% increased extra damage. You do take 5% additional damage as well, but it's not that big of a deal when it comes to PvE. And then your critical hit chance is increased by 2% at a rank 10. So this is a really good gem to slot back into your build and get to rank 10 to give you that big damage increase. And it doesn't cost a lot to do it. You can get plenty of copies for free from just running your runes. Just running your rare crests. Also in the 1-star category, one that a lot of people have slotted in just for the extra boost that it gives to beneficial effect durations. This one is great for barbarians, great for demon hunters. Anyone that's doing a ton of buffs is Blessed Pebble. If you're able to work this into your build at rank 10, I think it's 12, if I'm not mistaken, it's 12% increase to the duration of your beneficial effects. And you also get an increase to your movement speed. I think that one might be 8 or 10% off the top of my head. But this is like almost like a mini Bottled Hope, except it doesn't give you more damage. But it does potentially increase your beneficial effect duration, and it gives you the movement speed buff too as well. And my last 1-star would be Everlasting Torment. This one, if you're doing any kind of damage over time type builds where you're using the Banquet set, having Everlasting Torment is huge. It's actually, even though it's a poor man's Seeping Bile, in certain ways it's better than Seeping Bile. When you get it up to rank 10, I don't remember exactly what the percentage is, but it ends up being a little bit more than Seeping Bile if you can't actually raise your Seeping Bile up to like rank 6, 7, 8 in that range. And it procs off of your critical hits instead of having it be a percentage chance depending on your attacks. So this actually tends to proc a little bit more. I've used it a lot, and this is one, if I wasn't shooting for resonance, I would love to incorporate into my build because it definitely, you can hit packs and just move away with this one. And if you already have a Seeping Bile, this will stack with it, and it becomes a really, really nasty damage over time build. Looking in the 2-star category, I would absolutely go with the damage amping gem, and I think almost anyone in the game could benefit from this at this point. Even though damage is crazy, it can get even crazier with one of these gems here that I'm about to show you guys. And if you don't have it in your build, again, I think this is one that anyone, free to play, low spender, mid spender, whale, can actually all take advantage of when it comes to 2-star gems. And the ones that I'm talking about are going to be Power and Command, Bloody Reach, Pain Clasp, Mother's Lament, and on a lesser degree, Abiding Curse. So all of these 2-star gems, except for Mother's Lament, works a little bit different, but they all increase your damage at rank 10 to 24%. In the case of Power and Command, this one is going to increase your skill damage for 8 seconds, and then it alternates and it increases your primary attack damage by 24% for 8 seconds. This one you do have to have some timing and some coordination with. but this can be a great addition to anyone's build. Bloody Reach is also going to increase your damage by 24%. This one does have the caveat of you have to be a certain amount of yards away from the enemy that you're attacking. So you do want to keep your distance to utilize this gem to its fullest potential. But this is something that can be slotted in easily for demon hunters, for wizards, to a certain extent, maybe even necros could take advantage of this too as well. Pain class will also increase your damage dealt by 24% to enemies suffering from continuous damage. So any sort of bleed, any sort of poison, any sort of burn effect is considered continuous damage in this game. And this will trigger the 24% damage. I run this one myself, and what I actually really like about it is it now increases all damage once you've got that damage over time effect on an enemy. And it just racks up really quick because you're gonna always have something. As long as you build around it, you do have to build around it a little bit, but it's very easy to get burn on someone, bleed on someone. Seeping Bile will put poison on someone if you don't have a way to do it with your setup. But you can pretty much, if you build it right, always have this 24% increased damage to all your damage going on all the time. Mother's Lament. This is going to give you 32% chance of gaining Maternal Disdain, which is going to increase your critical hit chance by 32% for 6 seconds. This one is huge. I'm seeing a ton of whales have this in. I'm working on getting mine to a rank 10 right now. It's at rank 9. And I have to say the burst that you get from this is incredible. It's like your own mini banner that you have. And it's actually slightly better than banner because you're limited to 135% on your critical hit damage with banner, up to, I believe it's 165% if you have enough critical hit damage and armor pen. But this is going to give you the full double damage when you get it for your 6 seconds. And it can be, there's a little bit of confusion around the beneficial effect duration on it. It wasn't working with Vithus, and it is supposed to be now. I haven't been able to test that one out clearly yet, but I'm hoping to find out an answer soon. But if so, pairing this with Vithus, getting your beneficial effect duration up, you actually could keep this up for a decent chunk of time, and it's some serious bursts. And then, as I said, to a lesser degree, Abiding Curse. This one is pretty interesting, and I actually used it in the past, but you have a 15% chance to curse enemies, reducing their attack and movement speed by 35% for 2.5 seconds. And this movement speed reduction goes up as you rank the gem up, as well as the duration. But then you also deal increased damage to the targets that are affected by the curse. So this has the benefit. I tried to use it in PvP and I can't say that I noticed it that much, but when I use it in overworld on mobs, things would absolutely slow down, and they were taking some increased damage. So this could be one to keep your eye on. Again, depending on what you're wanting to use it for, but Abiding Curse to a lesser degree is another one that you could potentially look at for the 2-star gems. And then if you are purely focused on PvP, that's your main thing, and you want to be as strong as possible in PvP, there's 2 ways that you can look at your new 5-star gem to slot into your build. So we can look at purely cheap resonance and trying to get your resonance numbers as high as possible with another gem slot. And in this case, something like a Zwenson's Haunting is usually almost always your cheapest gem on the server, and you can get plenty of copies of these for a lot less expensive than, say, a Seeping Bile or a Blood-Soaked Jade. So you could look at it from a cheap resonance standpoint. I personally think with so much damage in the game, you should be looking at something on the defensive end. Now, you could choose to amp up your damage. If you are going to do that, my personal choice would be Starfire Shard for PvP. But I think actually Frozen Heart is a pretty good gem to slot in here. So this is going to give you Frigid Shield for 6 seconds, and it chills enemies, attackers, and absorbs damage equal to 150% of your base damage, plus 1,458 once every 20 seconds. And then at rank 3, it grants you your attacks of 15% to chill enemies. So you're going to be able to slow down enemies with this, as well as absorb some extra damage and make you a little bit tankier when it comes to PvP. And as you rank this up, it's only gonna grow and help you out even further. Now, this one is very interesting because it's also less expensive. There's 3 stars going in the 62,000, actually 57,000 range right now. My wife actually ended up picking up a 3-star rank 2 for 80k platinum just a little bit ago. And she ended up saving herself about 25-30k if she were to buy one of these, plus buy the gem power that she needed. So Frozen Heart, I don't know what they're selling for on everyone's server, but this could be a very interesting one to slot into your build. And then your other defensive gem that we could take a look at would be Phoenix Ashes. Now, this one I'm not quite as high on when it comes to PvP, mainly because of the extremely long cooldown. I know a lot of people do use it, but with the Strife debuff, the shield that you get doesn't seem to be all that great. Now, ranked up, I think it can be very, very beneficial when you get into that rank 8, rank 9, rank 10 range. It seems like this works out quite a bit more. And when your shield expires, you heal for 20% of the remaining value. So it does have some value, but it just has a very long cooldown. But when we're talking about our gladiator procs, as well as having Phoenix Ashes, you basically have a second gladiator that you can use. And if you weren't going to go damage, again, Starfire Shard was what I would recommend. If you don't already have Chip of the Stone Flesh and your character is doing total loss of control, Chip of the Stone Fleshes actually are selling for a lot less than what they used to at the moment. And this can actually give your character quite a big boost in damage, as it's going to give off a curse that explodes for 150% of your base damage once every 20 seconds when you give a character total loss of control. So Chip of the Stone Flesh for the 5-star range could be another good one too to look at. All right, so just a quick recap. We have extra gem slots that we can go into. If you're not very concerned about the resonance, you're free to play a low spender, or you're just already at the resonance level you want to be. Something cheap that you could slot in and is easy to rank up would be a Berserker's Eye, Everlasting Torment, Blessed Pebble. Your 2-star gems, we want to look at the damage amping gems. So we've got Power and Command, Bloody Reach, the Abiding Curse, Pain Clasp, and Mother's Lament. And then on the 5-star section, we've got Phoenix Ashes, Chip of the Stone Flesh, Starfire Shard, and Frozen Heart. Let me know what you guys think. What are you using in those extra slots that you have? And if you could slot anything in that you wanted, what gems would you actually take a look at to put into your build? Again, thank you guys for all your support. I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. I need all of it. Please and thank you. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.